Photographers, a makeup artist, assistants. We're on the set of a professional photo shoot at university hospitals. The location of the shoot may seem abnormal to you, but not to today's stars. They're children undergoing treatment for life-threatening illnesses. And the flashes of hope we're seeing today are the fruit of a seed planted by Eastsider Allison Clark. This is her rising story.
We were married a year or two before we had Quinn. Always wanted to be a mom and couldn't wait to be one, so we were thrilled when we were pregnant with him.
He was very lovable, he smiled a lot, and he was very friendly.
When he was 6 months old, the doctor noticed that he had what they call cafe au lait spots on his body, which meant that he had something called neurofibromatosis.
Suddenly the doctor's saying, you know, there's something that could be lurking in there, and we don't know how it's going to play out.
Some people just have spots, some people have learning disabilities, and then some people get cancer. He was about 20 months old, and he just kept getting fevers, and I kept taking him in, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And then
we discovered that he had a big tumor that was growing inside of him.
They did a 9-hour surgery to take the tumor out, and then we went right into chemo and radiation for a year.
So we got very used to taking shifts, staying overnight in the hospital. And I remember coming in one morning, she just sort of looked at me, matter of fact, and said, I know what I want to do with the rest of my life.
What happened was one of Quinn's little friends, this little boy named Manuel, passed away. I wondered if his mom had a photograph of him, and that was the beginning of the whole thing. We knew at that very first shoot that it worked. We knew that we had to find a way to give this to as many kids as possible.
You go to a photo shoot and you see it is so uplifting. The kids have a chance to express themselves at a time when you don't really see that.
Well, we photograph children with cancer and give them these beautiful packages. And we photograph about 7,000 children a year, which represents half the children diagnosed annually in the United States. We bring the photographers in and the stylists, and it's a full commercial shoot, and it's fun, and they're laughing, and for 15, 20 minutes, they're not thinking about being sick.
So everybody sort of thought we were kind of out of the woods. So it was a real shocker to find this tumor.
They sent us home on hospice, and they told us there was nothing left that they could do for him.
They were giving him basically about 3% odds of survival for 5 years.
I kind of like that one.
Which one? Oh, the when you were really little?
Yeah. I'm a hard worker, I fight, and I don't really give up really easily.
We've been very fortunate that he's still with us. It's not something we take for granted.
And it was Quinn that came up with the idea to raise money for research after he got sick the second time by playing kickball games.
And that is our goal. To raise enough money so that we don't have as many kids to photograph because they're cured and they're not sick anymore. We have a big event we do at the Cavs, our annual Big Shots and Little Stars event, and that raises $1 million every year. We pair pediatric cancer patients and survivors with the players, and they're meeting all the players and all the big shots, and then they get on the runway and there are 1,200 people cheering for them. They really feel like absolute superstars.
Even though I struggled, and my parents struggled, and my sister struggled, my parents were able to come up with something that has helped out a lot of people and brought a lot of joy.
You know, if you have means or you have talent, you have an obligation to do something with it. Too much is given, much is expected.
I saw my family members working with their hands. My dad and I changed oil in our driveway at a young age. And something about creating sparks and creating something with metal. You know, something kind of tough about it. This is my motorcycle shop. You know, this is pretty much what I've created in the last 4 years.
Danny Pajak brings old bikes back to life. You may have heard of him. He's the owner of Disown Customs right here on Cleveland's West Side, and he's the host of a national television show. But just like his bikes, Danny did a custom work to give himself a renewed life. This is his rising story.
The DUIs weren't stopping, the legal repercussions weren't stopping. The fact that I had no direction in my life wasn't going to get me to stop. There was no bettering myself when I was kind of killing everything with alcohol. I lost relationships with friends and family because everybody knew I needed help but me.
Well, it was very difficult. It was, a totally different person. You just hope that, tomorrow's going to be a lot better.
When I found out that, I was going to be a dad, my whole outlook on life changed. I got motivated to change my life for the better. It's not only about me anymore. It's about me, it's about my daughter, and I wanted to be there. That was most importantly, is I wanted to be there. I was actively working at creating a new life. This AA thing, this rehab thing, it only solves the drink problem. You still have all the other problems going on in your life. The only difference is I wasn't killing it with alcohol. I could face these issues as they happened. When I'd start fighting those thoughts in my head telling me to drink, I'd go out to the garage, and then I'd look at this bike, I'd start figuring this thing out. I forgot those thoughts of drinking were even in my head. And by the end, I had a custom motorcycle, and I was like 7 or 8 months sober, and that's pretty much how it grew into all this. When I quit drinking, it was because I wanted to be a father to my daughter. I wanted to be a son to my parents. The path that it's taken is absolutely amazing.
It's been a wonderful ride. He's my hero because he accomplished things that I couldn't.
The TV show happened, I think, before they realized, what I actually went through to get here. When the first episode aired, you see yourself on TV, you can't help but think, had I never gotten sober, none of this would have ever happened. None of this would have been possible had I not put down my first drink and decided to change my life.
Performance has always been the beat of life for 22-year-old DeMarco Sleeper of Euclid, but his passion was almost stripped from him one cold December night when he was ejected from the front seat of his SUV. The accident was the catalyst for DeMarco finding his purpose through his performance. This is DeMarco Sleeper's rising story.
Growing up, I had my biological mom and 6 brothers. Everything got rough and we went into foster care.
I miss my chance looking down at the ground, so I hold on my head every day just in case my opportunity knocks.
I started just building this person that could handle the world as it was thrown to them. I wanted to be a performer. When I got into high school, I really got into dance.
All DeMarco liked to do was sing and dance. If he couldn't sing and dance, he didn't want to do nothing else.
Everybody is dealt a hand, and they don't realize that the hand can change at any moment. I got into a car wreck. I sped up to get over, and then I hit black ice. We flipped the vehicle, and we were all ejected. I got a T12 spinal cord break.
He didn't know he was paralyzed at the time.
What hit me most was when they didn't have the exact time frame or exactly knew if I was going to be able to walk or not.
I tried to do everything in my power to help him. He kept pushing me away. No, let me do it. No, I got to do this on my own.
I could fight continuously through all the problems. You just got to work with what you have to get better. If I let it defeat me, then I feel like I didn't succeed.
That was his whole life. He always wanted to dance. When they said about dancing on wheel, I said that's the best thing could happen to him.
DeMarco just echoes what I wanted my artistry and my dance to do. Taking hold of your life and finding the things that give you joy and going after them.
To date, the Dancing Wheels Company's inspirational mission has touched over 5 million people through performances across the United States. I introduce Dancing Wheels. Please help me welcome them.
Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. You can do it no matter what.
DeMarco is a driver. He drives. Anything he wants to do, he drives at it. He don't give up.
I'm here from Dancing Wheels Company and School, and I'm just gonna teach a couple of the patients. 5, 6, look, 7, 8. When I see that people are being helped, that they learn something, it brings it all around. It's like, okay, maybe I'm making a difference.
This little rhythm here brought me back, like energy. It felt good. Thank you, DeMarco. Thank you.
I feel like people don't see a disability. They see somebody beating a disability.
DeMarco just determined he gonna get out of that chair and walk one day. And I believe it, because he got that drive.
I'm taking that move.